Welcome back to the Growth Vault. Today we are doing a practical, calm, no-nonsense money reset. Imagine this episode like a working session. You can listen now, then come back with a notebook and actually do the steps. Welcome back to the Growth Vault, the place where we talk about money, business, and the small decisions that quietly decide your future. Today we are not talking about getting rich overnight. We are talking about something more useful, more realistic, and honestly more powerful. A 24-hour money reset. If you feel like your money comes in and disappears, if you have big plans but the bank account never seems to match the ambition, this episode is for you. The goal today is simple. By the end, you will have a clear system you can use in one day to find the leaks, organize the pressure, and start moving again with confidence. This is not financial advice. It is education and motivation. Your situation is yours, and you should make decisions carefully. But if you have been waiting for the perfect time to get serious, this episode is your sign. You do not need a perfect month. You need one honest day. Most people think their money problem is only an income problem. Sometimes it is. More income matters. But a lot of the stress comes from not knowing exactly what is happening. Money becomes emotional when it is invisible. You feel behind, but you cannot point to the exact reason. You feel like you should be doing better, but you do not have a map. The first truth is that unclear money always feels more dangerous than clear money. A person with $2,000 of pressure and a clear plan often sleeps better than a person with $500 of pressure and no idea what is coming next. Clarity lowers fear. Clarity gives your brain something to do. The second truth is that small leaks become big leaks when nobody is watching. A subscription here, food delivery there, a late fee, an impulse purchase, a little dead interest, and suddenly the month has holes in it. None of those things feel dramatic in the moment. But money does not care whether a leak is dramatic. It only cares whether cash is leaving. The third truth is that shame makes people avoid the numbers. Avoiding the numbers makes the numbers worse. That loop is expensive. The reset breaks that loop. For one day you do not judge yourself. You just look. You become the owner again. You are allowed to enjoy your money. You worked for it. But enjoyment feels better when it does not come with panic afterward. The goal is not to remove fun. The goal is to make sure fun has a place, bills have a place, protection has a place, and growth has a place. The first hour of the 24-hour reset is not about cutting anything. It is about seeing everything. Open your bank account, your credit cards, your payment apps, and any accounts where money moves. Write down what came in during the last 30 days and what went out. Do not organize it perfectly at first. Just capture. Rent or mortgage, fuel, groceries, insurance, phone bill, subscriptions, debt payments, business tools, coffee, restaurants, random online purchases, everything. The point is not to create a beautiful spreadsheet. The point is to stop guessing. When you finish, separate the spending into 3 buckets. The first bucket is survival. Housing, utilities, groceries, transport, minimum debt payments, insurance, and anything that keeps your life stable. The second bucket is growth. Education, tools, business expenses, health, and things that can make you stronger. The third bucket is leakage. Spending that did not really improve your life and did not move you toward anything. This is where many people get surprised. They expect one huge mistake. Usually they find 20 small decisions. That is good news. A huge mistake can feel impossible. 20 small decisions can be changed. Here is a simple example. Maybe you find $20 a week in snacks, $30 a month in unused subscriptions, $40 in extra delivery fees, and a few late charges that should never happen again. None of that feels like a life-changing number by itself. Together, it can be the start of your emergency fund. Do not rush through this part. The capture stage is where the reset becomes real. If you skip the truth, every plan after it is just a motivational quote. A lot of people underestimate how powerful boring consistency can be. The boring action is usually the action that changes the result. Checking the account is boring. Paying the extra amount is boring. Cooking at home when you wanted convenience is boring. Sending one more message to a possible customer is boring. But boring actions repeated long enough become a life that feels exciting because it has options. Once you can see the leaks, do not try to become a completely different person overnight. That usually fails. Instead, look for the easy wins. Cancel the subscriptions you forgot about. Downgrade what you barely use. Remove saved cards from apps that make spending too easy. Turn off one-click buying. Delete the food delivery app for the week if you need to. The goal is not to live a miserable life. The goal is to create friction where your future self needs protection. Discipline is easier when the environment helps you. If the app is one tap away, the decision happens when you are tired. If you remove the shortcut, the decision happens with a little more space. A powerful question is this: if I had to buy this again today with cash in my hand, would I still choose it? If the answer is no, that expense is a candidate for removal. You are not punishing yourself. You are voting for the life you say you want. Here is the quiet win. Every dollar you stop leaking is like getting a small raise without asking anyone for permission. If you cut $50 a month, that is $600 a year. If you cut $200 a month, that is $2,400 a year. That is emergency money, debt money, business money, freedom money. You are allowed to enjoy your money. You worked for it. But enjoyment feels better when it does not come with panic afterward. The goal is not to remove fun. The goal is to make sure fun has a place, bills have a place, protection has a place, and growth has a place. Now let us make the money easier to manage. A simple 4-account system can change the way you feel. Account 1 is bills. This is where fixed expenses live. Account 2 is spending. This is for food, fuel, normal life, and controlled fun. Account 3 is emergency. This is not investment money. It is protection. Account 4 is growth. This is money for skills, business, investing, or anything that can improve your future. You do not need 4 fancy bank accounts on day 1. You can use separate savings buckets, separate cards, or even a written split. The principle matters more than the tool. Money needs jobs before it gets distracted. When income arrives, divide it before your emotions get involved. Bills first, then survival spending, then emergency, then growth. If the numbers are tight, start tiny. $10 into emergency is not impressive on social media, but it is a vote for stability. $20 into growth is not huge, but it starts a habit. The mistake is waiting until the amount feels big enough. Habits do not become real when the number is large. Habits become real when the behavior repeats. Start with what you can repeat. If the numbers look bad when you first write them down, do not quit. That first uncomfortable moment is often the doorway. You finally know what you are dealing with. A clear problem is always more useful than a vague fear. If debt is part of your stress, the reset needs a pressure plan. Write down every debt, the balance, the minimum payment, and the interest rate. Do not keep it in your head. Debt in your head feels like fog. Debt on paper becomes a list. There are 2 popular approaches. The snowball method pays the smallest balance first for motivation. The avalanche method pays the highest interest rate first for math. Both can work. The best method is the one you will actually follow. If you need confidence, start with the smallest balance. If you are already disciplined and want the most efficient route, attack the highest interest. The key is to make minimum payments automatic if possible, then choose one target debt for extra payments. Do not sprinkle tiny extras everywhere and feel like nothing is moving. Focus creates visible progress. Visible progress creates energy. Energy keeps you going. Also, stop adding new pressure while you are trying to escape old pressure. That sounds obvious, but it is the whole game. If you are paying down debt with one hand and creating new debt with the other, you are running on a treadmill. The reset is where you step off. Another thing to remember is that the reset is not about becoming cheap. It is about becoming intentional. Cheap says no to everything and often creates frustration. Intentional says yes to the things that matter and no to the things that quietly steal from those things. There is a big difference. Cutting leaks helps, but growth eventually needs income. The problem is that many people jump into random side hustles without a simple plan. They watch 5 videos, buy 3 tools, start 2 ideas, and finish none. That creates motion but not money. For the next 30 days, choose one income experiment. Not 10. 1. It can be a service, a digital product, freelancing, local work, content, consulting, reselling, tutoring, editing, cleaning, design, bookkeeping, or anything honest that matches your skills. The rule is simple. Pick something you can test quickly without spending much money. A good beginner offer has 3 parts. It solves a clear problem, can be explained in 1 sentence, can be delivered with skills or tools you already have. For example, I help local businesses clean up their Google business profile. I edit short videos for creators. I organize personal budgets for busy people. I design simple thumbnails for YouTube channels. Simple beats impressive. Your first goal is not to build an empire. Your first goal is proof. Can one person pay you? Can one person recommend you? Can you deliver the result? Once you have proof, you improve. Without proof, you are just imagining. If the numbers look bad when you first write them down, do not quit. That first uncomfortable moment is often the doorway. You finally know what you are dealing with. A clear problem is always more useful than a vague fear. Money is not only numbers. Money is attention. If your attention is scattered, your money will usually be scattered too. The 24-hour reset should include an attention reset. What are you watching? Who are you comparing yourself to? What makes you buy things you did not plan to buy? Comparison is expensive. You see someone else's result, but not their timing, debt, help, risk, or stress. Then you spend to feel caught up with a life you do not actually understand. That is a trap. Your job is not to look rich. Your job is to become stable, useful, and free. Create a simple rule for the next week. No financial decisions when tired. No impulse purchase above a set amount without waiting 24 hours. No buying a course, tool, or subscription unless you know exactly how you will use it this week. These rules protect you from emotional spending. Attention also means deciding what gets your best energy. If you want a better financial life, give the first focused hour of the day to something that can improve it. Learning a skill, applying for better work, building an offer, improving your content, organizing your numbers. Your future should not only get the leftover energy. A lot of people underestimate how powerful boring consistency can be. The boring action is usually the action that changes the result. Checking the account is boring. Paying the extra amount is boring. Cooking at home when you wanted convenience is boring. Sending one more message to a possible customer is boring. But boring actions repeated long enough become a life that feels exciting because it has options. Now let us turn the reset into a 30-day challenge. Day 1 is the full capture. Write down income, expenses, debts, subscriptions, and leaks. Day 2 is cleanup. Cancel, downgrade, remove saved cards, and set your 4 money buckets. Day 3 is the plan. Choose your debt target, emergency target, and 1 income experiment. For the rest of the month, keep a 5-minute money check every day. 5 minutes. Look at what came in, what went out, and what needs attention. This small habit keeps your money visible. Visible money is easier to control. Every week, ask 3 questions. What leaked this week? What worked this week? What is one adjustment for next week? That is it. You do not need to become a finance expert. You need a feedback loop. At the end of 30 days, measure progress in more than one way. Did you save any amount? Did you reduce a balance? Did you cancel waste? Did you avoid a bad purchase? Did you earn even $1 extra? Did you feel less confused? Those wins matter because they prove you are no longer drifting. You are allowed to enjoy your money. You worked for it. But enjoyment feels better when it does not come with panic afterward. The goal is not to remove fun. The goal is to make sure fun has a place, bills have a place, protection has a place, and growth has a place. The 24-hour money reset is not magic. It is better than magic because it is repeatable. You can do it this week. You can do it next month. You can do it whenever life gets noisy. Capture the truth, stop the easiest leaks, separate the money, attack pressure, test 1 income idea, and protect your attention. If you remember one thing from this episode, remember this: you do not need to fix your whole life today. You need to stop avoiding the part you can fix today. That is how momentum starts. This has been the Growth Vault. If this episode helped you, subscribe for more practical conversations about money, business, and building a stronger future one decision at a time. Start with one honest day. Then repeat. Let me give you a realistic version of how this might look. Imagine someone earns money, pays the important bills, and then uses the same card for everything else. Groceries, subscriptions, fuel, takeaway food, random shopping, software trials, small business tools, all mixed together. At the end of the month, they feel like the money disappeared. The problem is not that they are stupid. The problem is that the money had no lanes. The reset gives the money lanes. Bills do not compete with entertainment. Emergency money does not compete with a weekend purchase. Growth money does not disappear into random spending. When every dollar is sitting in one place, every dollar is available for every emotion. When money has lanes, emotions have less power. Here is another useful rule. Before you try to optimize your investments, optimize your cash flow. A lot of people want to talk about stocks, crypto, property, or business ideas while they are still losing money through avoidable fees and impulse spending. There is nothing wrong with learning about investing. But if your monthly cash flow is leaking, the first investment is control. Control is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It means knowing the next bill before it surprises you. It means knowing what you can spend without damaging the week. It means having a small buffer so one problem does not become 5 problems. A calm financial life is built from these boring protections. Now, if your income is low, I do not want this episode to sound like all pressure is your fault. Sometimes the real answer is more income. Prices go up. Rent goes up. Life gets expensive. But even when income needs to increase, clarity still helps. It shows you exactly how much gap you need to close. Do you need an extra $200 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month? A clear target is easier to attack than a general feeling of being behind. That is why the income experiment matters. You are not trying to become a millionaire in 30 days. You are trying to prove that you can create value outside your usual paycheck. That proof changes the way you see yourself. The first extra dollar is not important because of the dollar. It is important because it shows you that money can come from your skill, your service, your creativity, and your initiative. If you do not know what to offer, start with problems close to you. What do people ask you for help with? What do you understand better than the average person? What can you do faster because you have already learned it? Maybe you are good at organizing, editing, writing, designing, researching, fixing simple tech problems, budgeting, planning trips, setting up pages, making thumbnails, cleaning spaces, or helping people make decisions. Skills that feel normal to you can still be useful to someone else. Keep the first offer small. A small offer is easier to sell and easier to improve. Do not start with a giant business plan. Start with a sentence. I help this kind of person get this result. Then test it. Real feedback is the teacher. The same idea applies to your spending. Do not start by creating a perfect budget for the next 12 months. Start with the next 7 days. What bills are due? What food do you need? What spending limit protects you? What is one thing you will not buy this week? What is one action that moves money toward emergency, debt, or growth? 7 days is short enough to control and long enough to build confidence. Confidence is important because most people do not change from information alone. They change when they experience themselves taking action. You can hear the same advice 100 times, but the moment you cancel the waste, move the first amount, send the first offer, or pay the first extra payment, something shifts. You are no longer just thinking about the person you want to become. You are acting like that person. And when you mess up, because you will, do not turn one mistake into a full reset failure. If you overspend on Wednesday, you do not have to destroy the whole week. You adjust Thursday. If you miss one day of tracking, you come back the next day. The people who win with money are not perfect. They return faster. That phrase is worth remembering. Return faster. Return to the budget. Return to the plan. Return to the offer. Return to the debt target. Return to the emergency fund. Life will interrupt you. The skill is learning how to come back without drama. So as you listen, do not just think, this sounds good. Pick one action. After this episode, open the accounts. Write the numbers. Cancel one leak. Choose one debt target. Create one offer. Send one message. Move one small amount into a protection bucket. Action makes the episode real. Quick reminder before we finish. This is educational content, not personal financial advice. Use what fits your situation, ignore what does not, and make careful decisions with your own numbers.